Hi children, welcome to our MS class. In today's class, I'm going to tell you about the different types of leaves, children. See the board here, you can see the different types of leaves over here. So, these are the leaves where you can find the shapes are different, isn't it? See here, this is the leaf of grass. Leaf of grass. So, what is it? It contains petiole, lamina, that is the expanded part of the leaf, lamina, and you can also see the veins arranged inside the lamina, and the edges of the leaf and the shape of the leaf you can see as elongated structure and plain edge here over the grass over here. So this is the leaf of hibiscus, or it is also called as China rose leaf. Okay, so you can find the edges of the leaf are toothed. Is it clear? So it also contains the petiole, lamina, veins, midrib, etc. Isn't it? Here you can find the difference of the shape of the leaf where it is ovate. Isn't it? Oval shaped. Isn't it? So, and the next one you can see that edges are toothed and the point with the point tip. And next, this is the leaf or leaves, or these are the leaves of mango. These are the leaves of mango. You can see that leaf of mango is elongated with plain edge and pointed tips. Both edges will be pointed for mango. Hope you have seen the mango leaf. It has the pointed tip, isn't it? Just a minute, children. You can observe the leaf over here. So, in the mango leaf, you can see both the edges are pointed and you can find the reticulate venation for the mango leaf. And coming to the leaf of peepal leaf, if you observe the peepal leaf, you can see the reticulate venation, and it also contains petiole, lamina, midrib, and all the veins and veinlets you can observe in the leaf, isn't it? But the shape of the peepal leaf, if you see the shape of the peepal leaf, it is cordate with the pointed tip. It is a completely plain edges plain with a pointed edge, and that is pointed tip, and the shape of the leaf is cordate. Okay, you can see the heart shape, that is cordate shaped leaf of peepal. So like this you can observe the different types of the leaves in your locality. And also if you observe the neem leaf, so it is elongated like this, as in the case of grass. You can see the neem leaf also, which is elongated, but you can find the striations at the edges, isn't it? These are the striations that you find in the leaf of neem. And you can also find the veins are reticulate. They are arranged in form of reticulate venation. Okay, so you can see the reticulate venation for the neem leaf also. So it has pointed tip with the edges are seen with striations. These are the toothed. You can also say toothed edges. These are toothed edges or striated. The edges are striated. Okay, children. So this is about the different types of leaves. Hope you have understood now the different types of leaves, and now we'll do the activity which is given in your textbook and complete that activity now. Hope you have understood this types of leaves, and now all the exercise part we'll do in today's class. Okay, children, draw the types of leaves. Okay. See the table number 3, children. Here now in the table number 3 you can find the different plants, leaves you have to note down and write there whether the leaves contains leaf base, petiole, lamina, and what is its shape and edges. Okay, let's start now. We have already seen the shape of hibiscus leaf, isn't it? Name of the plant is hibiscus. Next, second one, you can take about the grass. Okay, grass. Mango. Third one, mango. And fourth one, example, you can take out people. Hibiscus, grass, mango, people and neem. Okay children, the first one is hibiscus. Does it contain leaf base? Yes, hibiscus contains leaf base. Already you have proved through the diagrams you have seen, and you also know the hibiscus leaf, isn't it? You can observe and you can write. Does it has petiole? Yes. Does it has lamina? What is lamina? Lamina is the expanded portion or the flat portion of the leaf is called as lamina. Yes, hibiscus plant contains the lamina. What is the shape of hibiscus leaf? Shape of hibiscus leaf is ovate. So it is oval in shape, isn't it? So we can call it as ovate or oval. Next, edges of the leaf, they are toothed. You can see the toothed edges, isn't it? So you can write down as toothed, or it is also called as serrated. Okay. Next, coming to the grass. The grass, the type of the leaf, whether the grass leaf contains leaf base or not. Yes, it contains the leaf base. Yes, it contains the leaf base. Petiole, yes, it contains. Lamina, it contains. Shape of the leaf is elongated. Elongated. Grass leaf is elongated. And the edges of the leaf of grass are plain. How are they? They are flat. They are flat or flat blade, you can say. You can say flat. Okay, flat or plain. Plain also you can say. Next, mango. Mango leaf, what is the leaf base? The part of the leaf where it starts over the stem, that is called as leaf base. So the mango contains the leaf base. And petiole, the stalk of the leaf is called petiole. Yes, mango leaf contains the petiole. Lamina, the expanded portion of the leaf is called lamina, and the mango leaf also contains the lamina, where you can find the veins and veinlets. Shape of the mango leaf is elongated shape. Isn't clear? So mango leaf oval or elongated. So you can also say it is an oblong shape. So both sides you can find the tip for the mango. So it is called as oblong shape. Okay children? And next, edges of the leaf are plain edges. For the mango leaf, you can find the plain edges for the mango leaf and pointed at both the ends. Next, coming to the people leaf. People leaf is, we can say it has leaf base, it has petiole, it has lamina, and the shape of the people leaf is cordate. And its edges, how the edges of the, that is heart shape, isn't it? So it is cordate shape, and the edges of the leaf are plain and with the pointed tip. With pointed tip for the people leaf. Next, neem. Does the neem leaf has the leaf base, children? Yes. Does the neem leaf has petiole? Petiole means stalk. Stalk of the leaf is called petiole. Yes, it contains the stalk. Lamina, yes, neem leaf contains the lamina. And the shape of the neem leaf, if you take, it is of elongated shape like that of the grass, you can say. It is elongated and serrated edges. So toothed or serrated is also called as serrated. Edges are serrated with pointed tip for the neem leaf also. Like that you have to write the shapes, edges, whether they contain the petiole, lamina, leaf base, etc. by observation. Okay children, so they do this activity by taking the different other types of the leaves also. Okay children, write down in your notes neatly. See the table 4 children. Let's answer this table knowing about the types of venation now. Okay, so you already know what type of venation does the peepal leaf contain. What is venation children? Once again we'll recall the topic. What is venation? The arrangement of veins and veinlets on the leaf lamina is called as venation. So now how the veins are arranged on the peepal leaf? They are arranged in a reticulate manner, that is in a network like arrangement is seen in the peepal leaf, isn't it? So in the peepal you have already seen how it is. It is like this, isn't it? It is cottage shaped. So the reticulate venation is seen for the peepal leaf, isn't it? So this is a reticulate venation. Web-like arrangement of the venation. Reticulate venation is seen in the peepal leaf. That is web-like. Web-like. Reticulate means web-like venation. Okay. Next, banana. You have often seen the banana leaf. I hope so. Isn't it? You will be seeing the veins arranged parallelly to one another in the banana leaf, isn't it? Like this. So they are bipinnate, you can say. You will be learning about this in higher classes. So this is parallel venation. How the leaves are arranged? They are arranged parallel to one another. So it is a parallel venation. Okay, next, grass. If you see the grass, the leaves are arranged, the veins are arranged parallelly to one another. So this is also a parallel venation. The veins are arranged parallelly to one another. Next, leaf, neem leaf. I have already shown you the neem leaf is elongated with toothed edges or serrated edges, and it shows reticulate venation. Which type of venation is seen in the neem leaf? You can see reticulate venation in the neem leaf. Okay children. Next is tulasi. If you see the tulasi leaf, you can see that it is also reticulate venation only. You can see reticulate web-like arrangement of veins is observed in the leaves of tulasi. So it is also web-like venation. Okay children. So this is about the parallel venation and reticulate venation, which I have already told you about the root system, how the root system is related to the venation. If the plants having the taproot system, then the leaves show reticulate venation. The plants with the fibrous root system shows the venation with parallel venation. Leaves with parallel venation. Plants with fibrous root system shows the leaves with parallel venation. That we have already learned in the previous class. That is in the starting of this lesson. Okay children. Next table 5 will move. Till then you note down the topic table 4. Complete this. Now we'll do the activity 9, that is transpiration process. Now children, you have already learnt about the transpiration process. What is transpiration? Excess water is sent out of the plant body through the process called transpiration. So this is being proved with the simple activity. I have already told you, but once again I want to recall you what is this again. Okay, so this is a potted plant. It is kept in a sunlight continuously. Okay, kept in a sunlight. So take a polythene cover which is with the you can tie the polythene cover with the thread over the one of the branches of the potted plant within the covering the leaves inside. So after one day completely which is exposed to sunlight, the plant which is exposed to sunlight completely, if you cover the one of the branch of the green plant with the polythene cover and tie it at one end, at one edge and leave it overnight. So you can observe next morning tiny droplets of water over this polythene cover. Okay children. So what did you see here? Tiny droplets of water were seen over the polythene cover. So that is the small droplets of water in the polythene cover is being seen inside covered at the covered end of the polythene sheet is being seen over. Are there droplets of water in any of the bags? So if you keep a polythene cover tied outside, you cannot see along with the polythene cover that is tied to the plant, you keep another polythene cover. In the similar experiment, you keep the another polythene cover outside. But you cannot see any of the tiny droplets after the day. You cannot see after that night. You cannot see that tiny droplets of water inside the polythene cover that is kept outside. When you can see only the tiny droplets of water that is kept inside over the potted plant. Okay children. So from this experiment it is proved that the small droplets of water is seen on the polythene sheet which is tied to the branch of the potted plant which is exposed to sunlight. Okay. So this is due to transpiration process that the plant releases excess water and it is seen in the form of tiny droplets inside the polythene cover. So what is this experiment children? This experiment is about the transpiration process that is performed by the plant. Now what is transpiration? Excess water that is present in the plant body is released out in the form of tiny droplets. The process is called as transpiration. Okay, so that is performed by the stomata of the leaves. So stomata performs the functions of respiration, transpiration and photosynthesis. Respiration, transpiration and photosynthesis. So that is about the transpiration process. Now let's answer the questions that are given in your textbook. Okay. So in this experiment of transpiration process that we have, what did we see here? You have to write the answer. What do you see here? Here we have seen that tiny droplets of water were seen in the polythene bag tied to the potted plant, isn't it? Tied to the branch of the potted plant. So polythene covered to the potted plant, in the polythene covered to the potted plant. So tiny droplets of water in the polythene bag tied to the potted plant is seen here. But did you see any of the droplets in the other cover that is kept aside of it? No. Are there any droplets of water in any of the bag? Any of the bags is there? Yes. In one of the bags you have seen. Yes, in one of the bags you have seen the tiny droplets of water. Which bag has the droplets? Polythene bag tied to the potted plant. Polythene bag tied to the potted plant. Branch of the potted plant is, you can see the tiny droplets of water. How do you think they are formed over there? By the process of transpiration, because stomata present on the leaves. It is the function of the stomata present in the leaves which expelled out the water that is in excess in the plant. So excess water is expelled out by the process of transpiration. By the process of transpiration. How they are formed? They are formed by the process of transpiration. Hope you have understood this topic, children. Now, on the whole, the lesson is about the parts of the plant and their functions. Roots, their functions. What are roots? Where are they present? They are present below the soil. What are their functions? Their functions are absorption of water and mineral salts from the soil, fixing the plant firmly into the soil, and we have also learned about the different types of root systems too. Okay, and the shoot system which contains the stem, leaves, flowers and fruits, where the stem conducts the water and mineral salts from the roots to all the other parts of the plant, and it also stores the food, as the roots also stores the food material in some of the plants which store the food materials in them. Stem also stores the food material in them. As in such case, you have also learnt about the leaves which take part in photosynthesis, that is preparation of food, exchange of gases, that is taking in of carbon dioxide and giving out of oxygen, is done by the plants through this stomata present on the leaves. So leaves perform the functions like photosynthesis, respiration and transpiration. Okay, children. Next part of the plant is the stem. That is stem you have seen, and leaf also you have seen. Now flower. Flowers are the different parts of the very important parts of the plant where they take part in the reproduction process. So there are flowering plants and non-flowering plants also, and you can learn about them in higher classes in detail. Okay, so petals are of different colors and they take part in pollination, which is very much important for the reproduction of the plants. Okay, children. So with this, I conclude that very importance of this lesson is that there are many other parts of the leaves which are used by the human beings to prepare the food also, like jackfruit leaves. They are used as they are prepared in the form of cups, and the batter is being put in the jackfruit leaf in some parts of the East Godavari district, and they use these leaves for the food production also. So leaves as such, they give us oxygen, and also they are served for in the preparation of food material also, and some leaves are used as food in itself by us. Okay, children, so that this comes to the end of the lesson. Hope you have understood the different types of plants and also about the functions of the different parts of the plants, children. Next, we can do the exercise part that is given in your textbook. Now, note down this first. See the questions in your textbook, children. What are the important parts of a plant? The important parts of the plant are roots, stem, leaves, flowers and fruits. Isn't it? Next question. How does the stem help the plant? The stem, it is, how does it helps? You know well that stem is the part of the shoot system. It lies above the soil, isn't it? So, it helps the plant for conduction, bearing all the other parts of the plant, and also it stores some of the plant stem stores the food material in them. So that is the answer. Next, what is the relation between the type of the root system and venation? So the type of the root system and venation are related as such. If a type of the root system is taproot system, then the type of venation is reticulate venation. If the type of the root system is fibrous root system, then the type of the venation is parallel venation. So that is the answer for that question. Next, Rajani said respiration takes place in leaves. Is she correct? Yes, you know very well that stomata is the part of the leaf that takes part in respiration. So, how can you support this statement? You can support this statement by showing that stomata are the tiny pores which are present on the leaves which take in the carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and releases the oxygen. Okay, so this is the that is the answer. You have to draw the diagram of stomata and explain the stomata also. What are the guard cells? So where is the stomatal pore? Everything you have to explain. I told you, isn't it, children? Stomata. Structure of the stomata. Once again I will draw for you and show you so that we can understand clearly. Stomata. These are the guard cells. Okay, children? You can easily draw the stomata in this manner. These are chloroplasts. This is the structure of stomata. I already shown you. Okay, children? So this is stomatal pore through which it exchanges the gases. That is, respiration takes place. These are bean-shaped cells. These are bean-shaped cells called guard cells which protect the stomatal pore. These are chloroplasts. Chlorophyll is a green colored pigment that is present in the leaves which gives them green color to the leaves. These are chloroplasts. Okay, children? So this is the structure of the stomata. Stomata functions are preparation of food, respiration and transpiration. First one, preparation of food, that is called as photosynthesis. Heads for the preparation of food for the plant. Next, exchange of gases. Takes in carbon dioxide and gives out oxygen. This is called as respiration. Next, excess water is expelled out from the plant body and the process is called as transpiration. So these are the functions of the stomata present in the leaves. So this is about the structure of stomata which you can prove and write for this answer. Okay, children? So that is about this question. The next question is, what will happen if the plant doesn't have any leaves? If a plant doesn't have any leaves, what happens? There will be, the plant doesn't perform photosynthesis, doesn't perform respiration nor transpiration. So the plant dies. Okay, no preparation of food, no exchange of gases, and thereby the excess water is not removed from the body, and so the plant dies. So this is about the stomata. Next, how can you show that plant absorb water through their roots? I already told you, if you take a carrot or any of the root, that is storage roots, tuberous roots, and put them in a bowl containing water, then you can see that is with the colored water. If you take it, after some time you remove it and cut it into two pieces, you can see that the colored water is seen inside the root of that particular tuberous root. So from this it is understood that it absorbs the water through the roots. Okay, next. Explain the various parts of a plant with the help of a diagram. That already I have shown you. You know it very well. The parts of the plant, root, stem, leaves, flowers and fruits. You have to write down and write for each root. Fixation, absorption and storage. All the three functions you have to write down in detail. Okay. And the stem also. Support, conduction and storage. And if you take the leaves, photosynthesis, respiration and transpiration. And flowers, they are the colorful part of the plant, helps for them. They have the petals which are of different colors and they attract insects for pollination. Okay children, so that is about the parts of the plant, and the fruits are the parts of the plant which arise from the flowers and they give rise to the new plants again. Next, explain the parts of the leaf with the help of a diagram. Leaf, you know it, every leaf contains a leaf base, petiole, lamina, and lamina consists of midrib, veins and veinlets. What is leaf base? Leaf base is the part of the leaf where the leaf, part of the stem where the leaf arises. It is called the leaf base. And the petiole, it is the stalk of the leaf. It is called as petiole. Lamina is the expanded portion of the leaf. It is called as lamina, and the long elongated vein that is present in the center of the leaf, it is called as midrib. Veins and veinlets arise from the midrib, and this forms the venation, that is called the arrangement of veins and veinlets in the leaf lamina is called as venation, which gives the shape and structure to the leaf. So it is called as a skeleton of the leaf. Venation is called as a skeleton of the leaf. Yes. Next. John has no sufficient place around his house to grow plants, but he wants to grow vegetables like tomato or brinjal. Suggest him the ways to grow such type of plants. So he can grow the plants in pots, keeping them in terrace or in open terrace system, or also he can grow the plant in the service areas by putting the soil over in the service areas on the top of the buildings, keeping them in service rooms or service areas. So that is the answer for that question. Okay children, now you can collect activities are given over here and do these activities for today. That is your homework children. Write down this activities, homework. In today's homework, write down. Okay children, in today's homework, draw the structure of stomata and label the parts. See here, neatly draw it and show it from your classwork. Observe a plant which has healthy green leaves and beautiful flowers. This is your own answer, you have to write on your own. Write your feeling about the plant. How do you feel? What is your feeling when you see the plant with the blooming flowers? Okay. Next, prepare a greeting card with the dry leaves. You have to take different types of leaves. However it is your wish. You prepare a herbarium, or you also can make a greeting card with dry leaves, pressing it against a weight. Okay children, so that is the homework for you for today. Have a nice day. Stay safe, stay free home. Stay at home.